been responsible for killing so many of them.
And the soldiers are very bitter about it. Yes. The soldiers are very bitter about it. And now, just about 2 days ago, General Brutai was saying that Boko Haram has arrived in Lagos. That's not bad. So they want to continue to export this terror. And that is why every other community in Nigeria needs their own well-arranged internal security.
Okay. Moving ahead, from the punch of still Saturday 8th, Nigeria lacks mechanism to contain coronavirus outbreak, senators. Pharmacies hike nose mask price by 271%. I mean, imagine the typical demand and supply dynamic.
The truth is, let Nigerians just pray. This thing doesn't get here.
But Nigerians, while we're praying, we have to face the fact.
Of course, yes.
A lot of our people travel to China. In fact, as it stands, China appears to be our biggest trading partner.
It is. Yeah. Most of our people actually live in China and they come in week by week. So, I mean, we must have to be very, very careful. And China is, China's capacity in trade and economics is such that it has got a threat to the whole world. That is why America is in trouble. The whole of Western Europe and Eastern Europe is in trouble. And then Southeast Asia and the entire Asia is now the center of the...
Now we have a bunch of Nigerian students, particularly in that region, who are actually begging to bring us home, and the Nigerian government is not even attempting to do that.
Sacrifice those people. You see, Nigeria is always really large. Whenever there are people get stuck up somewhere, that's when they show you that you have no country. Yeah. Look at what happened in South Africa.
Yeah. Okay, terror group worse than Boko Haram may emerge, Sultan runs north.
They can't surprise us any longer because they can come up with anything.
Well, I think that's a notice, and we need to watch.
Is it another notice to the north?
That is a
notice that is already in trouble.
Nigeria is already saturated with
strange elements,
insecurity, strange elements, and in fact, this is a notice. And if we should be security savvy, I think the federal government should cover this and ask him to explain further. Because Nigeria, as it stands right now, cannot contain the security confusion that it's into as it stands.
No, that monarch has nothing to explain. The man is talking about the things you and I can see. The level at which you are moving, moreover, the north. It's a problem to Africa, not just Nigeria. Because it looks like, you see, even when we are trying to discuss how to intensify security in other parts of Nigeria, Northerners, some elements in the north, not just Northerners, some elements in the north are talking nonsense and saying that there is no need for any security, that people should leave themselves porous so that they can come and kill us anytime they like.
But that is a misguided...
Of course, yes. And because they have not been able to control these misguided elements.
It is established that the number one or the first line of defense is you.
Of course, yes.
You are the first protector of yourself. So you cannot just fall back and allow yourself to be decimated.
Because the West tried to set up something that was supposed to defend Nigerians, not just Westerners, but Nigerians in the western part of this country. Look at the kind of statements some persons are making in the north.
But we have seen how these statements.
So why are they
making
such? That is why. And now they are starting to form some other militias which they are doing out of bitterness by these special elements we are talking about. And if their people cannot control them, that is why the Sultan is warning that the north is going to soon explode into what a gunpowder will look like a baby's play.
Okay, going ahead, Supreme Court dismisses families' bid to gain access to Apache's frozen foreign accounts.
Why should they be thinking of getting the money back? Why?
That's a statement from.
Yeah. So they are not even repentant.
No, they are supposed to be ashamed of their father's deeds.
Okay, let them go and take the money now. Let's see.
So why?
Okay. Kidnappers killed Nnamdi after getting ransom. I pray God forgives them. What for twin brother of Slave Kaduna Seminary. After picking up the ransom, they still went ahead to kill him.
Almost things that Nigerians
Man who are going into the vineyard of God to
worship God.
becomes a victim of
Yeah. So, and that's when we talk about insecurity. That's an orphan boy raised up by a grandma.
Yeah.
And today he wanted to go and follow his God forever.
Become a priest.
Look at what has happened.
In a training school.
Yes, in a
Priestly training school.
Yeah, a priestly training school.
A seminary.
A seminary. And a very wonderful.
Very peaceful place.
Yeah.
Yet such violence comes into such place.
Yeah, Bishop Kuka couldn't manage himself during the process of the burial mass.
It was heartbroken.
It was the most painful thing he has gone through.
Terribly heartbroken. Okay.
So that's it.
Okay, we have to move on. From the nation, how fraudulent contractors almost ruined NDDC acting MD.
Have they left it now?
Well, the question
Have they actually recovered NDDC?
But the NDDC should have structures to prevent such.
were those contractors part of the NDDC system, or didn't they have structures within themselves? Didn't they have control mechanisms from within? How were those contracts given? Who signed on behalf of
Internal checks and balances.
How would
That should run the system.
Somebody said to wait for
the contractor to determine?
No, they said that NDDC, they made the mistake of beginning to give it over to class politicians.
But the intention of setting up the agency was noble.
Very noble, and that was why it called for the presence of technocrats
And let's to run the place. And let's not forget that the establishment of the NDDC helped to douse the tension and the restiveness.
Of course. And that was the more reason why we needed to operate NDDC through well-trained and tested technocrats, so that the people will see the dividends of democracy, NDDC, and the natural resource that lies beneath their soil. So, but because they were giving them to crash politicians and trying to please themselves with an agency that is so well positioned for such noble intentions, look at what we have ended up with.
Okay. Going to Sunday 9th of February 2020 from the Telegraph. Regional security, why South states may go solo as politics tears governors apart.
Going solo may or may not give the real result that is expected. To have something in the neighborhood of Amoteku, which Igbos have copied, of course, and they are doing their own, I think that the South should have also gone in line with what other regions are doing. If they go solo, it may not give them the real result, because you will find out that before now, so many of the states have internal security organizations, but they were able to provide that security. Those so-called state security services were there while people have been killed during political processes or whatever.
So just is it a case of them being compromised? Totally compromised. They set up for that.
They are about to compromise themselves. If they don't understand the politics that is going on, now the middle bay forum come together to now have a properly well-articulated security outpost for themselves. And the South is done the same thing, just in the last 2-3 meetings going on in the last week here in the Southeast. This thing has to be regional for it to have the catchment that you need, for it to have the teeth.
So the regions must,
of course, so that there will be uniformity. Yes. The powers will not be in the hands of any individual state. It must be a cooperative. a regional cooperative. That's the way it works. Because if you narrow it into states and local governments, we will still have the same things we have already, and are not working. So let them understand so that they don't get themselves into the fire now that it is time for people to actually stress themselves out.
From the Telegraph still, how Indians evade customs duty, abuse fast-track system. That's a picture. And expose
It's because the system
allows abuse.
They're able to know that the system is not working, so they can compromise it very easily and very cheaply.
If they are corrupt and they come to a place where corruption is the foundation of everything.
They have a few days.
Of course.
Okay. Going to the Daily Sun. EFCC traces billions of naira to TA Orji, ex-Abia governor's accounts.
Let them do their thorough investigations. If they find out that the public funds have been looted, I think the law has to take its course, but let them be thorough with their investigation. That's my take on that.
That's really ridiculous because the information we are getting and the figures we are getting can shock you to death.
Very huge figure.
So I think this is just the beginning of some other stories we are yet to hear.
Okay.
You see, recently former governor of this state was sent to prison after a long 12-year legal battle that went up to the highest echelons of the judicial system in the country. Now, we are hearing about this again, and for these authorities to make this specification of figures, financial and monetary figures, that means the evidences, they are sure cannot be controverted. So if that is the case, thank God for everything. But however, we are yet to hear more stories.
Okay. Moving ahead. Moteko and Shege Kafasa. I see total anarchy coming. This is
Musa. Yeah. But when he was talking from both sides of his mouth in that interview, I read through it. But however, yes, he is entitled to whatever he has to say. Yes, because if the federal government cooperates with the southwest region of Nigeria to make Amotekun work, it will be to the glory of course, and it will be to the credit of that same central government. So, but if they think it is antagonistic and it is intended to do the bidding of only the southwest alone, or for the southwest to use it to launch themselves to file once again, then they are making a mistake. So, Bawanda Musa spoke to about 2-3 different interviews in the last 2 weeks. He hasn't been able to make a point how Amotekun is going to send Nigeria into blazes.
Amotekun is just a security system.
No one is talking about it. I am so shocked at what I said because he's a man who is very well respected in this country because of his, he's a populist.
He's entitled to his.
So I'm being listening to him.
The stand is taken. I don't think it is holistic because if the security apparatus of the central government have been anything to write home about, I do not think.
So why are we going to have an article
and take a chunk of? I mean.
Funding.
Yeah, we're already funding the police and
we are happy to pay more for our defense.
Money that should have gone to other areas of development.
So the federal government should be grateful to all these regions for taking over their full responsibility.
Okay, take a couple, sir. What's the meaning of that?
Well, we're yet to see. From the Daily Sun.
It says you're right that I'm not taking.
Is it the
contest?
It's a
you can see the feeling in the north.
From the Sun, Nigeria running unwieldy, dangerous system. Professor Revolutionary core presidential candidates.
Yeah.
Brilliant woman.
Very, very brilliant woman. Yeah.
Okay. From the Nation, Amotekun Southwest states ratify more for security network. This is what they should have done earlier.
Is it late?
That they are costing.
Is it late?
But it's been done.
Is it late?
Okay.
So What matters is that they have a security network that will protect the lives and properties of
Nigerians in that region.
And no single state is controlling it.
Okay.
It's a cooperative.
Coronavirus, Chinese authority in mass arrest of victims. Let's not forget that the whole region has been under lockdown. 60 million people.
Oh yes, that's true.
It's a huge country.
It's a very huge country.
Hubei is the epicenter. The city is about 6 million or 7 million. Lockdown, no problem, no movement, no.
It's a real problem.
And you can imagine when 60 million people are locked down.
And for China, of all places, the most densely populated place under the surface
The
of
factory of the world.
Oh my God. It's a problem.
It's a major health issue for the nation.
It is.
Over 1,300 people have died already.
It is. And if you know the quantity of merchandise containers that are being loaded and moved every second,
The factory of the world.
and this all is so. Who tells you that this virus cannot get into the control of the ship to export? So that I mean, so people must have to be a little bit more vigilant.
Okay, still from the nation, we need Nigerians to pay more taxes, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Have they not been paying taxes?
Okay.
Remember they mean the politicians who are the people.
They really rich now.
From the Telegraph, Nigeria flares 64,050 megawatts worth of gas in 1 month. Yet we don't have electricity, gentlemen.
And we are still flaring gas. The 21st century,
Daily basis.
when we let other nations
Steal
steal
our resources.
no.
Okay.
No.
2023 presidency, still from the Telegraph. Our priority is northern interests, northern elders forum.
We know that.
Says Buhari has failed in tackling insecurity, poverty.
Now that Buhari has failed, maybe they want another person from that same extraction to come and succeed, because others are film watchers. Others will just have to sit down and watch the northerner that will fail, the northerner that will succeed, the northerner that will be a mediocre, the northerner that will be a technocrat. So this is not democracy, and that's why Nigeria is failing totally as a state. We should de-emphasize regionalism and talk about nationalism. That is my take on that.
Okay.
Well, better. It's good that Nigeria must restructure. That's the only way.
Okay. Presidency. Andrew Abdullahi is a general without troops.
Now they are after Andrew Abdullahi because they have told him the truth for once in his life. That is their chief boy. That's their chief attack dog. And today look at them trying to they discountenance him because it's for once spoken the truth in his life.
Okay.
That's their professor boy.
Insecurity. South governors set to launch joint security outfits.
Of course.
Rights federal government mandate state assemblies to enact operations.
That is it. That's the way it works.
Ndị Igbo will defend themselves against attack or Hanese.
Of course, yes.
It has become necessary.
And we have a very interesting picture element from the Telegraph. I don't know if we can have that picture element of ex-President Obasanjo and incumbent President Buhari at the AU summit in Addis Ababa. Okay.
And Buhari also said that he was worried about insecurity in Libya and the EU summit.
Let's focus on insecurity in Nigeria. In Nigeria, let's focus on Nigeria and solve our problem. Monday, 10th February 2020, from the Sun. Gonibazu rules National Assembly for actualization of Enyimba Economic City Project.
I think that's a worthy project. Relating
That project
and actualize that it will turn around the fortunes of this state.
that project has too long stayed too long stayed. Why I said is because this is originally the former Uber City project. I was conceived even before the civilians came into power in 1999. And that was supposed to link the city of Port Harcourt and the city of Aba together, raising up the central economic hub right at the center of that highway to Port Harcourt and to Aba, so that the development will have to go this way and that way.
Big cities connected.
And
For
It was abandoned all that time until now that Governor Bazu is remembering it. I wish and I pray
to actually see the light of this.
see the light of this. So I hope that people who stay very closely around the governor will have to hold him very tight on that.
Okay. Constitutional amendment. North, South, fight over state police, devolution of power. Ohaneze, Afenifere, Middle Belt endorse amendments. ACF wants status quo maintained.
Look at that.
Because
conservation wants from the same status quo
and why must they want?
Look at the other regions want something else.
Can you imagine? So are they saying that the other regions are made up of very stupid people who don't have any points or any facts?
No.
Why can we continue this way?
Okay, there's a picture element of the Southeast governors after a meeting in Enugu from the Sun Municipal. If we have that picture element, we can just put it up there. You can see them there. The governors are there after the meeting where it was resolved that the state assemblies will now enact laws to immediately legitimize the security outfit for the region. Going straight to Tuesday, 11th of February 2020 from the Telegraph still. Bill Gates spends $53.8 billion on philanthropy in 20 years.
Yeah.
The Bill and Melinda Gates
Foundation.
That's a very huge role.
And it's about half of his fortune.
Yeah.
He's worth over 100 billion plus. And
I think that
we have 3 billion.
We have wealthy people in Nigeria, and poverty is increasing by the day. I think that if some of them should follow the footsteps of Bill Gates, Nigerian poverty will be reduced.
No, you see, it starts from understanding the real meaning of the creed Americans developed over 200 years ago, which is called the gospel of, the gospel of wealth. Wealth actually belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to the person who signs the check.
You can amass it.
You can amass it, but you definitely give it back to the owners. It is scripted in the basic principles of American civilization, the gospel of wealth. You can make all the money. You can't take the real money in the system. But at the end of the day, you have to know that virtually that money will go back. That is why these people got those monies. They fix their children, put them in school, give them best education, qualifications, start mini corporations for them, and ask them, you okay? Because I'm about to die, because I'm going to will away this, the whole of this 200 billion, I'm going to will it away to other people. You don't have access to one cover. Because I'm sure you're okay, you got some good education, you got some good basic money, and you have everything. You don't need it because this money is going to put you to further problems. And then
why you have foundations like the Ford Foundation. And one foundation like
they are several. They also
World Foundation. And these are men who have died 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. And yet they are still.
So the money they made and the monies the foundation used to go to build schools, colleges, universities, and institutions and give generations other people's children education, even in foreign lands. That is the gospel of wealth. Africans don't know it yet. And because we don't know it, that is why
so it is
so widespread.
It is shocking for the average African to
yeah, to hear the God. This is the principle. And the man is going to give more.
Yes, the foundation is still on. And this is just within 20 years of operation. The foundation was established in the year 2000.
And it's still young.
Still young.
And the business has grown bigger and bigger. So because the man realized that it doesn't really
what does he want anyway?
And that is why you hear in Nigeria that a particular politician will take $1 trillion and go and stack it in a tank in his village. And you are wondering what's
we don't have anything left. Okay, that's all right. Let's hope that we are listening. Boko Haram strikes as Buhari promises to free abductees. Terrorists kill 30.
Yeah.
Abduct others, burn 18 vehicles along that highway.
And they also want the president not to ever come near the again. That's what their leader told
the president. Insurgents are cowards.
Look at what kind of Insurgents are cowards.
If insurgents are cowards and they're killing your people and you
You don't know how to get it.
maintain peace within yourself because you're not killed, your family members are not killed, you keep calm.
Why the people had to kill that number of people was to warn him that they are sure that they've taken over that part of Nigeria and that is their own new republic. So don't come here again, you are abusing us. That's what they told him. And he doesn't want to interpret it and he's saying cowardice. So who's the coward now?
1 billion oil scam. I'm going through mental torture in EFCC's custody.
Aduke. Yeah, he was making those laws before for other people and he thought he was making laws.
So the law is on us.
That's the way it works. So there's nothing to worry about.
So I think that as a lawmaker himself, he should not have been caught by the law because the law was not made for certain people. It was made for the totality.
And you should have known how to most times avoid getting contravened by that same law, which you have done the right thing. I mean, do the right thing.
Justice is blind.
And now, what's he complaining about?
We shouldn't complain.
The same thing is going to happen to the man who is Malami. You see the way he's talking now. He's trying to incriminate everybody. He's trying to incriminate the entire west of Nigeria. He's running over all of us. The next day now we see him, we see not, is it not the same central government that is prosecuting this guy and testifying against him? I don't know.
The law.
So the same thing will happen to everybody who does not understand the meaning of the law. And you sit on the justice desk of your republic.
From the nation, Southwest governors to sign a Amoteco bill Friday. That's today.
It's already signed, don't bother about that. They are only telling you about the date.
ECOWAS pushes for reopening of Nigeria's borders.
They have to.
I think they are right doing that because that closure, I think, if I want to use my own words, I would say it was senseless. It is against Nigerians and it is against the economy of all other West African states, and the hardship has been spread across. So and
Nigeria set up ECOWAS, and Nigeria set all the familiar and the standards. And today Nigeria has destroyed ECOWAS beyond repair with a single policy, a single top-less policy that came from a narrow slick up there in the map. So why are you talking about? They say they're trying to block military, weapons and all that. That's the
since that time
have never been bringing in weapons from inside the bushes.
Okay.
And more people have been killed since that day.
Terror attacks continues despite the closure of the borders.
So what are we talking about?
Police talk tough as IP vows to attend Kano's parents. What's in the area?
What's in the area? They
allow the dead to rest.
Everybody should just.
What's the need for the tough talk?
I think this tough talking is not.
Talking tough at the wrong place and at the wrong time. We have places where Nigeria is supposed to be talking tough about terrorism, about the insurgency, about killing, and you see a quiet place, you are talking tough because the man has to be buried.
It doesn't make sense at all. What I think is the Igbo people who have the inclination of being available in Umuahia to get this man and the wife buried. I mean, they should be able to go to that place quietly and peacefully, bury the dead, sing the songs, and
the burial is a solemn ceremony.
So the soldiers don't have any job to do there. The police don't have any job to do there. But
they have to keep the peace.
Let's keep the peace and make sure that the people are protected, and also acknowledge them to just quietly bury these people and let us all go home. Okay. That's the only thing to do, because the people are human beings, they are not animals, they will do the same thing.
And on polls, the registered parties moved to stop INEC. Remember INEC a few days back, so many just 3 months, and then basically they are worthless. There's only occupying our journalist and yet you can't even
At the time, INEC was doing such multiplicity of town unions. They should have known for sure that such problems were imminent.
It's experimented.
Okay. From the Sunday newspaper, BBC exposes tactics used by police army to torture Nigerians.
They have always mounted these investigations and they will always come up with fantastic reports. So the BBC, you know how reliable and how well structured their reports and investigations can always be.
Okay. China gives Nigeria tips on coronavirus treatment.
Look at what Ebola did in West Africa. So let's how Ebola did this corona something is, it's not worse than Ebola.
Okay. A very interesting headline before we go on break. Fleeing hyena recaptured in somehow the animal escaped from the zoo. They had to mount the security. Had to declare a state of emergency. Capture the animal.
It has been properly let us stop this here this is not the zoo in Oslo.
Thank God it has been recaptured. Very ferocious animals, okay? Very ferocious. They bite and they don't let go. At this point, we shall go for a break because when we return, we will continue with the show and of course we'll open the line so that you can call and make your contributions. Please don't go too far. You are watching Media This Week on MCLtv.
Deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
Brothers, I say what the man will do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, then you talk. What do you do for this world? I say make we go do the things where we carry for heart. Now so one time, I be not been so.
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
Thank you so much for staying with us. If you have just joined the program, this is Media This Week on MCL Television, a program where we review media headlines and major stories that have made the news within the week under review. Our lines are open. You can call and make your contribution at this point as we look at publications from Wednesday, 12th February 2020. The Telegraph. Kuka. Bishop Kuka. Buhari has pushed Nigeria to the brink.
Of course, yes.
Very strong statement.
Of course, yes.
Says North has worse indices of poverty, insecurity, and destitution.
It's an authoritative placement. Yeah. And you know Father Kuka, he doesn't hide the facts. Yeah.
Okay.
Nigerians have been shouting, right? I think that one of these days that the president...
He is talking both for the North, both for Nigeria and both for the Vatican.
And the point is making is that the North is even worse.
That is the North is almost at the brink of a precipice, heading to perdition.
Okay.
Because of Buhari.
11 travelers abducted as kidnappers demand 1.2 million ransom.
That's what they
Just
do.
basically stop the vehicle
And take everybody
to the forest. And yet can't we
and
secure our forest in this country?
No, because the central government is just doing that. The security in Nigeria is only meant to protect General Buhari and his cohorts.
There's an interesting picture element of Jonathan and Buhari from the Telegraph. I mean, lately the ex-president has been on a sort of pilgrimage to Sorok. And in this instance...
He just tried to be a nice guy, otherwise he doesn't do it.
In this instance, he went with
his wife.
Patience, and you can see the picture element there.
Yeah, he's just looking for a way to help Mr. Buhari.
Yes.
That's just what he's trying to do. Otherwise he has no business going close to that kind of mess.
It's better to be a good statesman.
He's a statesman. That's why we need him.
The last time he was in South Korea talking about the peace conference.
No, he's proven himself to be a statesman globally.
Yeah. Okay. From the Nation, 2022 completion date for second Niger Bridge. Project 23% completed. Let them just build the bridge.
So why do you continue discussing bridge?
Should build the bridge.
In other nations, you wake up and you see a
new bridge, and it just why?
If you are building a road, you don't tell anybody until the day you are building.
You are commission the road.
That's
part of the developmental process in a nation. It's
over 20 years.
It's not about politics, APC versus PDP or anything.
Security that is supposed to be enjoyed by everybody is being politicized. Yet we don't have it.
A student or an executive will join a bus and is going to Kano or Abuja, and then somebody stops them along the highway and casts everybody right into the forest.
Federal highways.
Students, executives,
Nigerian babies, pregnant women,
clergymen, traditional rulers, and we are not discussing this. We are discussing Niger Bridge, politicizing, patching up the roads.
Okay. Police probe explosion at Edo APC secretary's home. The situation in Edo is degenerating.
Yes. And this is the climax of that thing that has been happening between the ruling governor and the ex-governor.
Now that they have started bringing up explosives and bombs around that community or the entire Edo community, exactly the type of thing that General Abacha was doing to Nigerians, exploding bombs everywhere, Abuja, Maiduguri, Lagos, just up to that was what they did do. And they were just making all of us want to run away, run into the desert, because we happen to be Nigerians. That's exactly what they want to reintroduce in Edo, because they want to flex the muscles of power.
Political levers.
Look at them.
Okay. Going to the Sunday paper of same Wednesday, Imo, PDP protests at UN, EU, French embassies.
PDP should do more meaningful things. Well, activism is part of it, but they should come up with real counter policies and not after they started all this mess.
The impunity
that we're suffering today was started by the PDP. In fact, if they were smart, they would even change the name of that party. Because
if you change the name, I don't change the soul.
But they change the name and change the soul.
Does it matter? Have any effect?
Because, okay, it's politics.
Moving ahead. Federal government, US signed $1.1 million grant for electricity development.
I think that Nigeria has come again. Let's pity party.
Hello? Oh, please, when you call, try and maintain the line. Don't be discouraged. Step away from your television monitor so that we can avoid reverberation. Then let's know where you're calling from and make your contribution. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I am finding it difficult to fix it that Nigeria is a country with resources with which God has blessed them. But these things cannot be harnessed. We cannot get them together to give ourselves what we need. Instead, we go begging
for what?
For arms that we should have been giving out to people. It's a shameful thing.
Going to Thursday, 13th of February 2020 from the Telegraph. Major headline. Buhari, I wonder how Boko Haram has survived up till now. But new governor, let's change our strategies against terrorists. Southeast leaders of federal government declare herdsmen terrorists.
But that's what they are.
Governors plans operation Ubuni.
No, the name is too heavy. Let's wait.
And of course, we have the picture of the president with the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Umar Kanoni, and Governor Professor Gana Zulum. When the president paid a visit to impromptu visit to Borno.
That now took more human lives.
Can you imagine? He wonders why. Okay. Well, so this is an indirect admittance that Boko Haram has not been defeated technically like the government claimed.
Okay. It is a pity that the president is admitting that the powers of Boko Haram have resisted, in fact, overwhelmed the central government of Nigeria. This is just total acceptance that Boko Haram has defeated Nigeria.
Hello? I think we have somebody who...
and the chief of army staff just said like 72 hours ago that if Nigerians are told the type of people behind Boko Haram, the new discoveries his office has made, that all of us might decide to run away from this country.
So in other words, it's a case of enemy within.
Yes. That's what he said.
Nothing that.
And in other words, he himself is overwhelmed.
In other words, the question then becomes: are these people, these individuals, these faceless, shadowy figures behind the scenes?
They are not bigger than the nation.
They are not bigger than the nation. That's the problem.
If the head of the army can say, "Hey,
and the president is still,
I saw some faces behind the mask that scared me."
The president and commander-in-chief is accepting, admitting that Boko Haram has overwhelmed Nigeria, and the chief of army staff is still accepting
the chief of army staff to capture people and try to tell Nigeria to look at people captured, and we told to get a lot of them released. Are they not finished?
Listen to that.
Okay.
And these people who were ex-Boko Haram, so to say ex, have been into the society to go
back and carry their machine guns and continue to wire us down.
Okay. From the Daily Sun, Constitutional Amendment, Senate to revisit 2014 confirm report. Remember that report?
Yeah, they have to visit it and it has to be improved because they omitted so many things. Yeah.
Okay. Charlie leads protest march over Hidden Hassan. There's a picture element there.
Yeah.
Very interesting picture.
Charlie Boy was talking from the experience of his father as a Supreme Court judge. The Supreme Court can always, overturn itself.
You can see the crowd there.
Yes. Because he's an A activist.
Celebrity A activist with the red cap.
Of course. He's bright, he's brilliant, he's popular, he's famous, he's educated, he's rich. So he's popular.
Okay. And even at that thing called the justice.
Yeah.
That thing called the justice.
And what it was
that was done in Imo State. Only God knows.
Okay. IGP Southeast leaders meet on security. That's given.
Yeah.
Governors must assume authority as chief security officers of states.
Of course.
And to recruit volunteer constables locally. Security alert at National Assembly.
Why not? So late.
Okay, from the nation, the picture element is there of the Southeast leaders with the IGP. If you have that picture element. Pope rejects proposal to ordain married men.
He will not accept that because it will completely turn the doctrine of the Catholic Church on its head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Senate rejects Wajumog, the late
The senator from Imo State.
The Senate is being worried that too many senators have died within the past term.
Who was the speaker of, I think it was
Imo State's
yeah.
House of Assembly. Yeah.
Okay. Going to Friday, Supreme Court aborts APC dream, sacks governor-elect deputy. 24 hours to inauguration in Bayelsa. We already touched on that. And the picture element in Telegraph speaks of what should have been, or what could have been, that never was.
The next time, if he wants to contest the election, let them use proper documents.
Let them set their house in order.
That is one thing.
Amotekun IGP, Southwest governors agree on modalities.
Of course.
Security operations to run on state basis, not regional.
Why are they afraid of regional things? You can see the snack behind that. But it has to be regional. It doesn't matter what they say.
Okay. From the Daily Sun, confusion, tension reigning by us. The showman, nobody will be sworn in as governor. Is that a something?
Is he speaking as a chairman or as the Supreme Court?
The showman is not for such things.
Stop making remarks that will destabilize Nigeria. Wiki replies. And you can see the picture element of the incumbent, Senator Dixon, as it is. Just jubilating.
Yes. Nixon will have to turn a new leaf. He almost lost that state because of his transitions with his bosses and his superiors.
Anxiety no more has none the kind of berries parents today. What anxiety? I mean,
There shouldn't be any anxiety.
There's any anxiety at all.
There shouldn't be any.
Yeah.
People should go their businesses peacefully. Both the policeman, both the soldier, both the civilian, both the hawker, and both the businessman.
okay.
That's the way it should be.
From the nation, still the one. I mean, that is the better story everywhere. The interesting picture element of the Oni of Ife and the Oni and the Sultan. Very interesting picture element there.
Yeah.
Two first-class traditional rulers in Nigeria. Lassa fever, 70 dead, 472 cases in 26 states.
It's a serious thing. Anytime Lassa strikes, it kills a lot of people. And it's a very serious thing. So fumigation against rodents and reptiles should intensify in states and local governments. These things are easy to control. It's just that to leave a rule of
The way to do the right and to get things done on time.
The states as well as local government should establish some laboratories. Yes.
And also, let's move on a campaign to let families know that you can fumigate your home.
You can fumigate your
Yeah, you can fumigate your home.
The environment.
You can fumigate your environment. These are the things you have to do, and you don't hear about things like this.
Okay. Gentlemen, we have to draw the curtain at this point. The media.
Yeah, the media have done the best as usual, and getting these pieces of information and the trending events open for people to know what's happening. I think they're doing it right.
Okay. Dr. Charles, the three major newspapers dominated by Leon out. That's a major story.
The media will always do the right thing because it is the hope of the common man. It's the last hope of the common man. Even when
of society.
even when the security agencies turn you down, even when the judiciary washes you into the gutter, the media will always be there to do the proper analysis and say this thing has been wrongly done, this other man has been wrong, this other person has been unduly favored, and that is the central duty of the media in every society.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's so nice having you on set today to discuss issues. as they have made the news. Thank you so much. This is where we draw the curtain for today's edition of Media This Week on MCLtv. Stay tuned to MCLtv, and same time next week we shall bring you a fresh package of the program. I am Emeka Chibu signing off saying, do have a lovely weekend.